still think it's low. I think they really undershot all of the healing numbers in this game for resource costs. But
Well, I don't know. Maybe they hit the nail right on the head because it is like it feels low, but still, I mean, it's so much higher than the next level down, so that you are tempted to use it. And that's kind of where I feel a spell should be. Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Heal. Thank you.
what else? What else do you got for heal other than I am better? I have been
No,
purged of illness.
If I, could animate wounds healing on my face, then that would have helped. But
That would have.
alas,
Bust out some zombie makeup and just like peel it off. That would work.
yeah. All right, well, let's get into heal.
Wonderful, weird intro. This is a 6th level cast out of an action spell for clerics and druids. It's got a range of 60 feet. It takes an action to cast, like I said earlier, which is a little bit, but sometimes it's fine. Duration is instantaneous. You choose a creature that you can see within range. A surge of positive energy washes through the creature, causing it to regain 70 hit points. The spell also ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases affecting the target. It has no effect on undeads or constructs. You could upcast it, give it plus 10 HP for a level up. Don't do that. This is a novel little thing, and I'm not high on healing magic, generally speaking. I do think if you wanted to play a character that had one big way to get someone back in a fight for a couple rounds, this is kind of your best option. And for that purpose, I think it does a fine job.
Yeah, I mean, 70 hit points is significant.
Yeah, I popped into the dice calculator to see how many d8s that is. It's roughly 16 d8, so you can do that as like 4 hits from like a mid-sized giant or something like that. It's around where you're taking, and with AC and stuff like that, you can expect to stay up for a couple of rounds if you're against something doing that kind of damage. And a couple of rounds for a 6th level spell isn't the greatest thing ever, but it also can get you off 0. It can do a lot of other things. If it ever cures blindness or deafness, it's probably just going to be upside. But yeah, sure, why not?
Or diseases.
Or diseases.
How often do diseases come up?
Well, we talked about the purify, or is it purify disease? We talked about it in a recent disease video where because a solution to them exists that's really cheap and accessible, diseases don't really get to do anything, and monsters aren't typically made with them. There's like filth fever on rats. That's kind of where the entirely stops. So I would not expect diseases to come up ever.
Yeah, and yeah, same blindness and deafness. Like deafness is more often a boon than a I'll say bad thing, but there's probably a better word.
Yeah, sure.
Blindness. That's I mean, the effects that cause blindness aren't usually permanent. They just last a round or two, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're ever casting this to end one of those conditions. There will be some situation to be like, oh, you're at like 3 and you're blind too? Huh, incidentally, this helps. Take a heal.
Yeah.
You would have probably done, oh, you're at 3? Okay, I'll wait and ready my action for when you go down, and then I'll get you back up with heal. A lot of times going under will end these conditions, sometimes, depending on their effects. I say that without a lot of confidence, but I think that probably happens. There have to be some things that end when you go unconscious. It's 70 hit points. The big thing I think this has going for it for druids is it doesn't take concentration. And honestly, kind of same thing for cleric. If you've got a 7th level, 8th level spell that's, your summoned conjured ally that's getting 4 attacks around, having ways to spend 6th level spell slots that will have a big impact that aren't concentration based are important. And I often think on those character sheets you might struggle to find a lot of spells you're excited to put on there that aren't concentration based, especially druid. So that's a little extra perk to this. I think it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, it's as far as healing spells and what we usually talk about, this is definitely not swapping out your turn for a heal, and you're swapping out one turn. No, you're swapping out a heal for buying several turns for the person that's healed.
I do think you want to make sure if you're casting this that you're giving someone that didn't have a turn prior a turn. That normally means they're coming off of 0, or like they're so debilitated by blindness that this is a meaningful boon, and buying them additional turns beyond the one you're foregoing, right? Because like you said, this does take an action. This takes most of your turn if you're a spellcaster. There aren't a ton of other things that clerics or druid are typically doing with their bonus action. Some subclasses, aren't that necessarily that always that case. Like Circle of Wildfire gives you a little bonus action commandy, awesome wildfire spear that you might be playing with, but for the most part, like your bonus action isn't a big part of your kit as a full caster, so you want to be able to spend your action doing these things. It makes heal worse, but it still makes it something that, like, where Mass Healing Word is sort of the only AoE healing spell you'll ever need because it gets everyone that is down up. This is sort of the only big heal I think that you ever need because it's still expensive, but it's just cheap enough that you're like, in the upper tiers, this doesn't hurt that bad to use. It'll get someone off 0, give us a couple extra rounds. It does have a big impact for its effect. I think it like barely hits the mark of justifying the amount of hit points you get for its cost. I really wish it was more. I think this could be closer to 100 and I'd be a lot happier with it, but for what it is enough.
6th level. So like, all right, what's the next lesser heal behind this one?
It's Mass Cure Wounds, I think, at 5th level, which is 3d8 plus 3 to a bunch of people.
Okay, that's
70 is a huge jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70 is like, all of a sudden, we are in a completely different world. Like, an upcast Cure Wounds is doing not even, like, half of this. Like, the difference between heal and the other healing spells in this game is pretty substantial in quantity of hit points restored.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah. That's
I
like
guess
why I
not
think it justifies existing.
Yeah.
I still think it's low. I think they really undershot all of the healing numbers in this game for resource costs. But
Well, I don't know. Maybe they hit the nail right on the head because it is like it feels low, but still, I mean, it's so much higher than the next level down, so that you are tempted to use it. And that's kind of where I feel a spell should be.
yeah, that's fair. And I think that makes this a comfortable 3, right? Like, not something that's changing the game at all. You don't really have to plan around this differently. But as far as 6th level spells goes, this is reasonable effect that has a reasonable impact on a decent chunk of fights that plenty of characters we find having on their sheet, right?
Yeah, 3 sounds good. It's nothing I'm getting super excited about, but it does justify existing, and you'll find times where it saves your butt.
Yeah, 3 healing spells you'll only ever need. Healing Word, Mass Healing Word, and Heal. Neat.
I don't know. There might be more.
There aren't.
All right. Well, not much else to talk about. It's 70 hit points.
We did pad this out as much as we possibly could.
Yes. All right. Let us know what you think of Heal down in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.